Before we do any of that, though, our next guest today has been talked about around the world, viewed by millions online, hailed as a feminist icon, and even had T-shirts made with her name on. If you don't know Jackie Weaver, well, you will after this.
If you disrupt this meeting, I will have to remove you from it.
You can't.
It's only the chairman who can remove people from a meeting. You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver.
She's kicked him out.
They now elect a chairman.
No, they can't because the vice chair's here. I take charge.
Please refer to me as Britney Spears from now on.
The recording from that meeting has gone viral online.
The joy that those clips have brought, it is just utterly brilliant.
A woman called Jackie Weaver began to trend worldwide on Twitter and was being hailed as possibly the greatest feminist icon since Emmeline Pankhurst of the Suffragettes.
Oh, Jackie, we've been dying to get you on the show. In fact, we had requests to get you on the show, so welcome to Loose Women.
Thank you.
You're very, very welcome. Jackie, I just couldn't believe it when I saw this. It's funny and shocking, actually, all at the same time. So if we could just make this clear to people that hadn't followed the story, you are Chief Officer of the Cheshire Association of Local Councils, and you were called in to kind of be an intermediary on the Handforth Parish Council Zoom meeting. Have I got that right?
Yeah, that's close enough, yeah.
Yeah. So you start the meeting, and how quickly did it descend into this kind of people shouting at you and telling you had no authority, Jackie Weaver?
Well, I guess we hadn't even actually started the meeting before it began to kind of go rapidly downhill.
I mean, I was...
So, pretty instant, really.
Yeah, and you kept very calm at the beginning. I mean, there was a lot of shouting going on and people telling you to stop talking. Were you shocked by that, or is that something that you're used to?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes you are so shocked by something that it really doesn't even register. I mean, I've been involved in town and parish councils for nearly 25 years. And, you know, by the nature of local politics, they do get heated. I mean, people feel very passionately about their local issues, and many councillors argue their point quite firmly, etc. And that's all part of, you know, the political arena. I mean, good heavens, it's nothing compared to Parliament. But I've never seen anything like that.
Was it quite intimidating? And also, how did you manage to keep your composure?
It was intimidating, but I guess it's kind of like one of those things that when you're in the middle of it, you don't notice it. I guess, let me give you an example. I mean, I have 3 children, and when they were small, I am absolutely blood phobic. But when the children hurt themselves, I remember one of them cutting themselves on a tin can, which is horrid, thinking about it now. And in that moment, somehow you are able to deal with it, you know? So it was that kind of thing. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And you mentioned your children there. I mean, I think some people have likened this to dealing with, you know, toddlers having a tantrum.
I think maybe that's kind of what's captured. I mean, a lot of people see the humorous side in this, and I think you have to acknowledge that. I mean, there's a lot of serious stuff around it, and there's a lot of serious stuff we could talk about. But ultimately, when you see grown men shouting hysterically, yeah, it is a bit like a toddler tantrum.
And how have you felt about the overnight fame? It's just come out of nowhere, hasn't it?
Well, somebody sent me a message saying that I was, I think the words were trending number 3. And it's like, I'm sure that's really good, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
And your husband, you said, is quite a quiet man. How has he found it all?
He's kind of taken on a very official role as my admin support and secretary. He's been brilliant.
Oh.
Lovely. I mean, we said, Jackie, you know, you were trending all day that day on Twitter. You now know what that is. You know, people have made cakes with your face on it. People are calling for you to be Prime Minister. Even Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber has written a song about you. Have a look at this.
When you're stuck in a tunnel and you can't find your way out, thank the Lord there's a Jackie Weaver about. Jackie is our saviour. She'll know.
What do you make of that? What about Jackie Weaver, the musical, Jackie?
Well, first of all, I think Andrew has shown exceptionally good taste by not approaching me to ask me to sing it with him. I mean, who could not be flattered?
It's amazing.
Jackie, I know you were saying it's embarrassing to see grown men behave like this. Do you think women are more likely to follow rules and are best communicators after that experience?
It's a really good question. I think, generally speaking, women are better communicators. I kind of feel that we don't just rely on the spoken word. I think there's loads of stuff that we're taking in when we're talking to another woman. I mean, it's often kind of made fun of in as much as we'll be checking out what we're wearing and stuff like that. And it's not just frivolous. It's also about us, you know, as I say, picking up all the visual clues. So we're better at negotiating, and I kind of feel that men don't have that ability, and often what you see is that they just raise their voice.
Do you think people will be shocked at what goes on at parish council meetings? Because we always think possibly of the, you know, little sleepy parish council meeting, like the Vicar of Dibley or something, and actually that was very heated, that meeting. Does that happen often?
It was indeed. I mean, I suppose my biggest worry is that people will be disappointed because no, that's not what the majority of council meetings are like. I say the majority of council meetings, in my experience, are filled with people who are passionate about local issues. And you know, if you kind of went along to say Handforth Parish Council at its next meeting. Their clerk's now back in place. I suspect that what you would hear is local people talking about local issues of interest to Handforth Parish Council, and you probably have preferred to have watched Coronation Street.
Well, they are important things, as you said. Parish councils do a lot of good, and I know you're very passionate about what you do, but, you know, as I said, Jackie, people are saying Jackie Weaver for Prime Minister. Would you fancy the job?
Well, I would have to unchain myself from the railings to do it properly.
What would be top of your manifesto? What would you change first?
Well, we'd have to introduce standing orders, that's for sure.
Read the standing orders. Stop talking,
Absolutely.
Jackie Weaver. Stop talking, is what I'm going to say to you. Jackie, you know, it has been incredible what's happened to you, and, you know, so many people talking about you. Have you seen the cake with your face on it yet?
I have. I mean, my initial reaction to it was how fabulous. And then I saw this picture and my heart sank because I realised they weren't sending it to me.
It has been fabulous to talk to you. We were in quite a queue to get to you. So thank you so much for giving up your time for Loose Women. You're a terrific Loose Woman. Before you go, Jackie, can I just say one more thing? You have no authority here, Jackie Weaver. No authority at all. See, that's the power. It's the power of sitting in this seat. Sorry, Jackie, I'll speak to her when we go to the break, don't worry. You saw we were talking to Jackie Weaver before the break, you know, who's trending, gone viral about this Handforth Parish Council Zoom meeting where she ejected somebody from the meeting, and that man was the chair of the meeting, Brian Tolver. We did actually contact Mr Tolver for a comment, and he said there is actually an investigation going on, so we can't talk too much about it, but he and his colleagues maintain that Jackie Weaver wasn't following proper procedures. So that's what she said, and there is going to be an investigation. So we're just to clear that up.